Liverpool have drawn at Anfield 1-1 in the Premier League, which makes it now 5 wins in 17 PL games. Now, before I get into what is mainly a sort of a negative video, I just want to talk about Wirtz and how well he's playing at the moment. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact he's playing centrally again. Now, when he was at Bayer Leverkusen, he was a threat from up the guts, and you see it with Germany as well. He is a 10, and he needs to be playing centrally. And he is now on 4 goals and 1 assist in the last 6 games from playing centrally. Slot, for some reason, favoured him off the left-hand side for the start, like a period this season. And I mean, he can be a threat there, but it's not as good as when he's up the guts. And I think you're starting to see the fruits of his labour in there. And I mean, I've harped on it in videos in the past about the trio of Jones and Ekitike and Wirtz, and how well those guys are playing when they are playing together and they are on the same field. And Wirtz's goal was a perfect highlight of that, right? I think Ekitike ran it down along the byline, got the shot on, hit the keeper, came out. Jones was there. Jones played it out to Wirtz, and Wirtz he opens up his body to go across the goalkeeper, and I think you see Dubravka sort of moves in anticipation that he's going to put it in his far corner, and then he just slices it into the near post. And I just think that was a fantastic goal. I think these guys, and those 3 in particular, I think at the moment are working their socks off, doing a lot more of the hard yards than they're probably getting the credit for. At least Curtis Jones, anyways. I think you could start to see the relationship these guys were having in clips of them training, and in the sort of the short cameos that they were getting on the field together, because they weren't playing all the time. Obviously, Jones sort of comes in for McAllister today, and I thought he made quite the impact, and I thought he looked better than when McAllister was on, although McAllister didn't get much time. He came on in the second half. And then another person I thought had a fantastic game today was Kirkes. And it sort of confused me when he went off in the 78th minute, because I thought he was one of the best players, if not the better player on the field today. I didn't think he put a foot wrong. I thought he, in the first half, had created like a heap of our chances. He barely put a foot wrong with his passing. I thought he was defensively solid. I didn't think we started to lack until maybe the 60th minute in the second half. But that's not a Kirkes thing individually. That's Liverpool as a whole at the moment. We are struggling to put teams away, and this Burnley team wasn't that great. We should have put them away early doors. But for some reason, once the 60th minute hits, if it's a mental block or something like that, we're struggling to put them away, and we actually invite the opposition back into the game. And we did that again today. I think Burnley got their equaliser from nothing, by the way. I think it was their first shot on target. And, I mean, it's a different game after that, right? He took Gakpo off, and, this is probably where the sort of my criticism will come into this video, is because it's starting to irritate the crap out of me, right? Is Cody Gakpo and his immunity to any criticism surrounding his performances, right? The last game we didn't have Cody Gakpo playing was a 2-1 win at Wolves. Now, he was subbed on for Wirtz in a 0-0 draw against Leeds in the game that followed. He then started against Fulham in a 2-2 draw. Again started against Arsenal in a 0-0 draw and played the full match, by the way. Started in the cup game against Barnsley, where he didn't have a great performance. He sort of just existed. And then today in the 1-1 draw against Burnley, he just looks like a passenger for the most part of this season. But more so, it's been highlighted since he's come back from injury, right? Because we went on that sort of spell, I think we had 4 wins and 4 in all competitions. But since he's come back from the spell, you can see the impact he's having on the team and how well it's just not working for him. And you could see some of the players out there today were starting to get frustrated, starting to rip into him. But he can't be immune to criticism. He's got to be pulled. Chiesa gets pulled all the time or doesn't even play because of one bad game against Fulham. Cody Gakpo is now on consecutive terrible performances. Don't let the green ratings and foot mob fool you. Right? He's been nothing but a passenger, and he's still only what it feels like. He feels like he's only on that field because like his dad sponsors the team or some crap like that. You know, when you're coming through like grassroots football and you know your son's not going off because his dad's the coach or dad's a sponsor on the shirt or something like that, and he plays every single game, every 90 minutes or whatever. It feels very much like that. And another thing with Cody Gakpo is who the hell assigned him to corners? His corners were shocking today, and every single one was exactly the same. They went high and hit no one. And you could see Virgil was getting frustrated. You could see a couple others were getting frustrated in him. And it's like, who assigned him to be our designated corner taker? Before AFCON, Salah was taking our corners, and they were some of the better corners that we've had in a while. But we have got some brilliant ball players on that field at the moment. So why aren't they taking the corner? You'd think with Cody Gakpo's height, when he's on the field, right, get him in the box and make him be useful with his height and his aerial presence. But no, we're going to let him take the corners, and after the first couple, we're going to keep letting him take the corners. But they were dreadful. They were terrible. And this season is the first time we haven't beat any newly promoted sides at home. We've drawn all 3 of them. So we haven't beat Leeds, we drew 0-0. We haven't beat Sunderland, we drew 1-1. And we haven't beat Burnley this morning's game at home, and we drew 1-1. I really don't know. It's not acceptable at this point, and a lot of people are like, this is, we're undefeated, we're unbeaten, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We've got 5 wins in 17 Premier League games. We won the freaking Premier League last season, and we've got 5, and you're all sitting there satisfied with it. It could be better, but we're satisfied with 5 wins in 17 Premier League games. That's not all competitions either, by the way. We have Marseille away on Thursday, who are a very informed team at the moment. They've got some very informed players, and they've got a decent coach. I'm expecting we go there and we set up for a 4 at the back. He loves setting up for a 4 at the back. And they're going to play a 5 at the back, or they're going to play a 3 or something, and Slot's not going to have the answers. Because that's another crap thing that came out of his press conferences midweek, was the fact that he could have thrown away all his pre-match reports, all his pre-match meetings about how his opposition were going to play, because only 2 of them have been right this season, which is freaking pathetic. And why that's not been highlighted in social media enough at the moment is crazy, because he's showing his inability to adapt or to think, because in that press conference where he made that comment, he immediately said that if he was in Barnsley's position, if he was Barnsley's coach, he would have done exactly what they did. And he wasn't prepared for that. He didn't think until afterwards, right? It's crap. I mean, I can tell you Marseille are going to play with a 3 at the back, or defensively they might set up in a 5. I can tell you that from the start. So if we go to Marseille and struggle, I'm not going to be surprised. But the writing on the wall has to be there for Slot now, because it's getting ridiculous. The more this goes on, the closer he gets to Roy Hodgson's record in the Premier League. And it's becoming a hard watch. So, yeah, Xabi Alonso is now free. I don't know if he is the answer. I don't know if he's going to come in and fix all our problems. But something's got to change, and I don't think Arne Slot can be here for much longer, because watching this every week, and this was a 1 o'clock kickoff for me this morning, so I am shattered. And the first half and the first 60 minutes of that game were fantastic, and the rest of it was just garbage. But that's been the story of the season. It's just unacceptable.